Now check this out, right?
Right.
And Rachel Donaire is absolutely correct because even when I advise for fighters or manage them, they're not there with me negotiating any terms with any promoter or another manager or a matchmaker. So Errol Spence don't have to be there when he had representation. It's no different. Watch this now. If you are involved in an automobile accident and you hire a personal or accident injury lawyer,
Right.
how many times did you sit there in the negotiations or the dialogue between the injury lawyer and the insurance company?
It was never heard
Never.
of. Never?
Never. But when the injury lawyer call you and say, I got the check, that when you
You
come
thought,
down there and sign it.
yeah.
That when you
Right.
come down and sign it. You
Right.
see? So we got to stop trying to make the bar so high and keep moving the goalposts every time something happens with Spence. And speaking of that, let's look at since we on what's the name of our type topic this evening? The name of our topic is, let me put it up there for the new audience that's coming in. Elephant in the room. Since we're on
Elephant.
elephant in the room, let's address it right now. Yeah. Let's read. All right, class is in session now. Since we got Terrence Crawford supposed to be fighting Rocha. A classified boxer may request recognition as mandatory challenger in writing to the WBO on a form which contain substantially the provisions of the application for designation as mandatory contender contained on the WBO website. Alternatively, the committee may designate a mandatory challenger based on the above criteria. In either event, the mandatory challenger must agree to be subject to and to abide by the regulations and to be bound to participate in and comply with the results of A. And basically, I didn't put the rest because it's not
Right.
important. Let me interpret that for those that need interpretation. A classified boxer is not considered a super champion. So I want to dispel the myth while I have all of your attention right now that Terrence Bud Crawford nor Ish Hansen, his legal representation, are the ones who petitioned the WBO. Okay? Here's the evidence right here. A classified boxer may request recognition as mandatory challenger. Terrence Bud Crawford is the super champion. He's not a challenger. Okay?
Right.
So that means that the challenger must be a contender. So what that means is that a classified boxer, let's use Alexis Rocha as an example, since he is now a mandatory challenger, he requested recognition as a mandatory challenger in writing to the WBO, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he was able to become a mandatory challenger. Now, if that didn't occur, alternatively, the committee designated Rocha as the mandatory challenger based on the above criteria.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell y'all what I believe happened.
Uh-huh. Go
Because
ahead.
look at the timeline and look at when I told y'all on my channel Tuesday night that when Alexis Rocha got finished
Uh-huh.
fighting his last fight on
Uh-huh.
on January the 28th, he was in that press conference and
Uh-huh.
Fight Hub and Fight Hype was there and FightHype.com had it. And he says, they asked him a question. Yo, you think Crawford would be next? Eric Gomez. Go back into the paperwork. Eric Gomez and his executive at Golden Boy Promotions. I met Eric Gomez when he came to Philly. That was like 2 years ago, I think. Him and Bernard Hopkins was in at the 2300 Arena, and they were celebrating J. Russell Pelt's 50-year anniversary as a promoter here in Philadelphia. Now, Eric Gomez is executive at Golden Boy Promotions. If you go back on that Alexis Rocha a post-fight interview with the press, Eric Gomez came over to Rocha, put his arm around him, gave him a kiss on the cheek, was about to walk away, turned around to the media and said, Terrence Crawford is next. That was on January the 28th of this year. And he said, Terrence Crawford is next. And the person that was behind that camera on Fight Hype said, yo, did y'all hear him? He said, Terrence Crawford is next. So how come on February the 27th, nearly 30 days after Gomez said that, did the WBO send that letter off to show Crawford and Golden Boy that they're going to mandate him and it's going to be a purse bid if they don't agree within 20 days? So the truth of the matter is that even Alexis Rocha was surprised when Gomez said that. Wanna know why? Because Golden Boy is the one that wrote that letter on behalf of Rocha. Because don't forget now, that same weekend was the same weekend that De La Hoya did that interview after the fight. And he said, yeah, Terrence Crawford came to our office and we talked. And we talked to him about fighting Rocha. Why you think the media knew how to ask Rocha about Crawford? Because Golden Boy ran his mouth. De La Hoya ran his mouth and he put that picture up there. Y'all remember that picture with him and Bernard? He put that picture up there with him, Bernard, and Terrence Crawford was standing in the middle. That was that weekend. So that goes to show us the timeline of they was trying to put the wheels in motion to get the fight to be mandated. You want to know why? Credibility. What do I mean by credibility? So that nobody can say, oh man, look at Crawford. He went over there to duck Spence so he can be with De La Hoya. No, because now, as a fan, you'll look at it different and say, oh, he didn't duck Spence. The WBO is forcing him to fight this guy, Rocha. They put that move in motion beforehand and slipped the WBO a little envelope. Because that's going to entice Crawford to sign with him now. We're talking business now. We're talking about the elephant in the room. All the people that's criticizing what I'm saying have not conducted one business transaction in this sport. So you have to take my words as credible. I know what I'm talking about. They put that ball in motion as soon as Crawford agreed to whatever terms he agreed with De La Hoya and them. And they said, now we're going to put it in motion to put the writing in place as documents so that the WBO will know we want Crawford to fight our guy. They got the biggest horse in the race here.
And did you hear Bernard Hopkins the other day?
Yes, I did. But the guy in the chat said that I was capping. Go ahead, Carl. Cook on what he said. You remember what he said?
Yeah, I remember what he said when he was saying we got the best of both worlds now. We got Terrence Crawford and we got Virgil Ortiz.
That's what he said.
But they gonna let that go past their head because they don't want to hear it. You know how they is. They gonna let all that. Like I said, Earl Spence could come out right now and say, I called Terrence Crawford last night. They designed to say Earl Spence capping. Terrence Crawford ain't say it. Terrence Crawford ain't say it. Earl Spence could be 100% right. They know that he right. But as long as all of them know, and if one of them know, they're not gonna let the rest of them know the truth. And that's crazy, but that's how they built. And it isn't no kicking shade or no Terrence Crawford fan. It's just if you see something, it's like they said, if it look like a duck, it walk like a duck, it quack like a duck, it's a duck.
Yeah, a fanboy killer. You said I was capping, fanboy killer. You said capping, Marty capping. I sent you the link, fanboy. Come on up here. Come on up here, fanboy. Let me hear what you got to say. Because I want to see how you say I'm capping, brother. Hold up. I got to stop the tape again. I got another one of my guys on here. Good content creator. That's everything boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if hey Carl, can you put your joint on mute so everything boxing can come through? Put your voice on mute so my man can come on through.
I got you.
Because I'm just saying it because I hear a lot of stuff in your background, bro.
All right.
There you go. My guy. Everything boxing. Salute. What's up, champ?
Salute, Marty. Salute to the panel, man. Been listening to the cook, man. Uh this whole Terrence Crawford thing, this right up his alley, Marty. It's what he want. I mean, this is what he want. What they say, believe a man for what he showed you. Time and time again, he showed us exactly who he is. You got to look at Terrence Crawford. He's a man that we're not taking nothing away from him in the ring, right?
Yep.
He showed that he's a good boxer, that he's a very good fighter. I don't know if he's great because I judge greatness in boxing on, you know what I'm saying, like who you beat. In order, they say, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Well, he ain't never beat the man. Who he beat. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's overrated. I really do. I think he overrated because you've been in the game since what? When he turned pro? 2009, 2008,
Yeah.
9,
Mm-hmm.
8. Okay. So you've been a pro for 15 years. And you mean in those 15 years, you still haven't fought another A-level opponent in their prime?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with Terrence Crawford is he's used to getting the praises at the highest degree without having to prove that he's worthy of that. You see what I'm saying? He went through his whole career and they've told you that he's the best. He's number one pound for pound. Oh my God, Crawford is this and Crawford is that. Can't nobody beat him. Can't nobody mess with Crawford. And he ain't never had to really prove and back that up.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else that's gotten those accolades, well, especially a black fighter, any other black fighter that we know that's got those accolades, they've had to prove that. You know what I'm saying? They look at the history. Mayweather had to prove that over and over again. When Andre Ward was called that, he had to prove that. When Roy Jones was called that, he had to prove it. So everybody else, they have to prove it. Look at Jermell Charlo. Look at the fighters that Jermell Charlo has fought. And they're not even nowhere near calling him that. You see what I'm saying? Errol Spence, look at all the fighters that he's fought in their prime. And they still saying that, oh, well, he around number 4. You know what I'm saying? Even Canelo, you got to look at his resume. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't agree with it, however you feel, but he's done a lot more to prove whatever slot you have him in. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot more to prove that slot. You can't tell me beating a whole lot of C-level opponents and beating opponents that used to be A-level opponents, but then they way out of their prime is proving that. So that's why I say he's overrated because, I mean, first of all, we know if you with ESPN, I'm sorry, if you with Top Rank is with ESPN. So if Top Rank says, oh, well, this fighter such and such is pound for pound number 1. If you say it enough, if you have a big entity like ESPN saying it enough, then everybody else is gonna start saying it. They did that for him over at ESPN because he never did nothing to prove that he was pound for pound number 1. You fighting guys like Ndongo and Ricky Burns, and you know what I'm saying, got like and Jeff Horn and things like that. Well, he moved up to 147 and he had all knockouts. Okay. Ain't nobody on Errol Spence's resume couldn't beat none of them dudes. Ain't nobody on Ugas. I mean, everybody, they could have beat those same dudes. And you know what I'm saying? It don't matter in what fashion they beat them in. They all still was going to beat them. So, you got to be able to prove that you are number 1 pound for pound. And he pretty much the only black fighter that I know that's been able to get away with it for this long, but not have to prove it.